Hello everyone, my name is Zoran Jančić. I work at Algebra University in Zagreb. Today we'll talk about e-learning authoring tools, specifically about Articulate 360. Now, before you say, okay, we know everything about Articulate, this video will be a little bit different because I will be talking about Articulate 360 tools from the perspective of a very experienced user. I've been using these tools since they came out many years ago, so I may say that I have pretty broad experience using these tools. So let's get started. We'll start with Articulate Replay 360. Articulate Replay is one of the simplest tools, if not the simplest tool in the package of Articulate 360 tools for e-learning content creation. It actually does several things. One is recording video from the screen. Second one is recording webcam, and that is at the same time as recording desktop or your computer screen. And one thing that it also can do is simple video editing, but just very, very simple but effective at the same time via video editing. So the user interface is very simple, extremely simple. It has only three tabs: File, Home, and Help. The Home tab is one of the most important ones because you'll spend most of the time here if you use this tool. When you open the tool, it is empty, doesn't have any content in it, but you can record screen. It also means that you can record webcam as well. So here is a button for turning on webcam. You can choose a microphone that you will use for a recording, and you can choose camera and select a window that you will record. Or if you click select a window, instead of clicking on some of the features shown here, you can actually choose a region of the screen with your mouse. And that's it, a little bit of options, but nothing much, just shortcuts that you can customize for your needs. And that's it. Is it good or bad that it is so simple? I think it's good, but it's not for everything. You can do, for example, multi-track audio recording and stuff like that. Any advanced mixing is not possible in this tool, but for very simple e-learning videos it will be very, very good because it is simple and it is fast to record and produce a video with it. So I'll open one of the simple files I prepared before. Okay, this is a simple file that I prepared. It has already pre-recorded camera and desktop, so we don't waste time to actual recording. And what you see here is for a track, and this is actually not a track, it is a description of the mix of these two videos. So how does it work? We have A, B, and BA signs here, and it actually means whether in some particular part of the final video will be displayed video A or just video B, like here, or both, but video A is bigger one and video B is little one, or the other way around, where B video is large one and small video is A. This is all done, all this mixing is done with only 4 buttons. You just position this pointer wherever you want to change the perspective or mix option, and click one of those buttons. For example, if I want here from camera A only to switch to camera B and little camera A and little video A, just click on this button, and what will happen? After a transition that it is already made automatically upon clicking on this button, you will get this combination of B video large one and A video little one. So if I click play button to preview this is how it works actually, or how it looks like. You see first transition, second transition, third, etc. You get a point. So all of this with just one click per transition. There are no zillions of different transition types and everything like in some other tools. It's just these 4 buttons, but it's enough for many interesting videos in e-learning. The effects are not a primary thing that we want to do. The primary thing is to send a message to the learner and focus his attention on what we want to show him, not the effects, of course. So for the simplicity, thumbs up for replay. For number of options, of course not, but this is not a tool intended to be used for some complex mixing and video production. This is a simple tool for simple mixing of 2 videos, one usually from the webcam and one usually recorded from the screen, but not necessarily. You can load any 2 videos. You have video button here that can be used for loading any 2 videos that you want. Can it have more than 2 videos? No, only 2 videos, but that's the purpose of this tool, mixing 2 videos, no hundreds of tracks, just 2 videos, and that's okay. There are several options for cutting, deleting, splicing, silence, etc., but that's just the basic editing that you will need in, I don't know, maybe 90% of videos that you will ever produce for simple e-learning content. So that's all about replay for now in this video. We will not go into too many details on purpose because this video will be too long. This is just an overview of some pros and cons of some of the tools that we will be talking about today. So, what's the final product of this tool? It's MP4 video, pure, simple, ordinary MP4 video that you can use in many ways, not only for e-learning, but Articulate 360 package is aimed for e-learning authors primarily. So does this tool have any drawbacks, or does it cause any problems? Does it have any bugs? As far as I know, no. But it may be too simple for some people or for some purposes. It's, like I said before, not for complex videos, but for simple ones. If you use it for simple videos or e-learning or something similar, then it will do the job perfectly well. Okay, let's go to another tool. Second tool that I will be talking about today is called Engage 360. Engage 360 is a simple tool for creating interactive e-learning content. By creating interactive e-learning content, I mean using pre-made templates to create interactivities. So there is no any programming, no pseudo programming, no any custom logic, custom elements, or anything like that. You just choose an interaction type that is pre-programmed for you, so you don't have to know any programming, and enter your content into it. For example, if we choose interaction, for example, this pyramid, okay. It takes some time to load. Okay, here it is. It has several segments, and when you preview it, in a few moments, and when you preview it, we can see what our interaction will look like in the end. But for the beginning, we have dummy content in it. We didn't enter in text or images or videos or anything else. Okay, here it is. It loads. So this is our interaction. Here is some introduction text that we can change and customize for our needs. And these are different segments of the pyramid where you can click on and get some explanation of each segment here. This is just one type of the interaction that you can make here. The content that is shown for each segment is entered here. You can enter text. You have a basic formatting, like you can choose fonts, bullets, lists, numbered lists, alignment, etc. You can also have links, but you can also add multimedia on the right. You can upload your pictures, videos, even sounds, but you can also record the sound, and you can use content library. What is content library? Content library is articulates a database of pre-made multimedia content, like images, icons, illustrations, photographies, whatever, that you can choose. It contains actually millions of items, and you can also use characters. This is also something that is very interesting. You have photographed people and photographed and illustrated people also that you can choose from. So you can see it. And each of these characters actually contain different gestures and variations of the photography or illustration that you can use. There are also filters that can make this process of choosing the right image faster. You can choose by age, by clothing, gender, style, etc. So this is just one specific part of the content library that's made specifically for these tools. If you remember, the previous tools that I was showing, the replay, it didn't have these characters and didn't have access to the content library directly. So this is something that only more complex tools as Articulate Engage has built in. This is actually also pretty simple tool, only a few tabs here to choose options. But when we previewed our interaction, you saw that there are several buttons for navigation for next segment, previous segment, etc., and for controlling sound volume, etc. This can be customized actually with this player button. You can actually do a lot of customization with it, not only changing the color scheme. You can actually change each color used in the color scheme or each element of the navigation of the interaction. So here you have colors and effects. You can choose color scheme, but also actually use advanced color editing here and choose each and every button and element and customize its appearance. Okay. Also text labels can be customized. You can choose different languages, but not all languages exist here. For example, I live in Croatia, we speak Croatian, there's no Croatian here, but you can choose some language that you will not use and simply enter here a language in a string in your own language. So this is what I did for Croatian for some projects. Okay, so what's the final product of this tool? When you enter your text, enter images, and when you do this for each of the segments and for the introduction as well, if you want, and click Publish, you can choose for several options. Articulate Presenter, I will talk about it a little bit later. It's one specific tool that can embed these engaged interactions. Review 360 is Articulate's online system for reviewing content, so you can send a link of the draft content to someone so he can go through the content and write comments. So you get immediate feedback from your clients. Web, you can actually publish this as HTML5 content, meaning that you can upload it to any website. So if you have a website and you want this learning interaction to display on your web page, you can. You don't need any special e-learning management system. LMS, it stands for Learning Management System. It is a system for e-learning content, tracking users, etc. It actually so to say speaks with content, so it exchanges information with content. For example, when user goes through the content and reaches the end, the content can send message to LMS system that user finished the lesson. So the LMS system writes down that information to its database. So it can be used for reporting, for example. And in order to enable communication between the content and LMS, we need some set of rules or format messages, format definitions that will define the way that these two systems, one being LMS and the other being learning content, can exchange information. So for that particular purpose, e-learning standards are used. Here we have several options of e-learning standards. One is SCORM 1.2. The other one is SCORM 2004, AICC, and in Can API, this is the newest one of the e-learning standards. Each of these have some specific reporting and tracking options that we use to define what kind of messages will be sent to LMS system when a user finishes the lesson, for example. We can also define other data about other information about lesson, like title, some specific ID, etc. So when we publish this interaction in one of these e-learning standards, we will get specific files done in a format of that standard that we can upload to any standard compliant LMS system, such as Moodle or any other system that conforms to the standards. Many people use SCORM because it's one of the most popular standards. And when we use SCORM to publish interaction, we will actually produce only one zip file. So the whole complete interaction with all multimedia, text, images, videos, whatever you put in it, will be compressed in one zip file that you can upload to your LMS system. LMS system will unzip it according to standard, and you can use this content in the LMS to track users, and users can use it to learn from it. We also have Microsoft Word options, so you can publish interaction in Microsoft Word format. Of course, it will not be interactive if you publish it in Word, but it can be used for different purposes as well. So what's my experience with the tool? Actually, it doesn't have many bugs. It's pretty stable. It's getting better and better each day. There's been several problems in the history, but Articulate publishes patches regularly that take care of those bugs and problems and issues, and the tool is better and better with each update. I had some problems with special characters, though. It actually depends on the fonts that you use to display your text. Default font, Articulate font, is not perfect, at least not for Croatian language, and I guess it's similar for some other languages as well, because special characters from Croatian language appears in different size in comparison to other regular characters, and that shouldn't be the case. I don't know how it is with other special characters that I don't use, but in Croatian language this is actually a problem, so we have to choose another font that will have a normal display of special characters. The other problem that I saw in Engage was problems with pasting formatted text from another program, for example, from Microsoft Word. Some formatting is copied and some is not. So I guess that is because Engage cannot use any formatting. It has some limitations, but it can be a little bit challenging for some users. So, regarding everything else, it is stable. It doesn't crash anymore. It used to crash in the past. Like I said before, that there were some problems in the past, to be honest, but today it is pretty stable and it works very well. So what can you do with these interactions? Actually, cognitive value of the content, well, it's not extremely good. It's not totally useless also. It's somewhere in between. Visually, for some users, it can produce some wow effects, and it can fascinate users in how pretty it looks like, especially if you use good quality multimedia in it. But regarding cognitive values, you can make some valuable content, but you have to make a lot of effort in making high-value cognitive content with these simple interactions, actually. But it's much better than simple text with images and videos. This can be more complex and of more cognitive value than simple web page, for example. Okay, let's go to another tool. Quizmaker. As name says, it's a tool for making quizzes. So it has a number of question types. Also, it has ready-made templates for only for simple question types like multiple choice, as you can see here. But those look pretty nice. Let's choose one, for example. Let's wait until it loads. Okay, downloads content from the internet, that's why we have to load. I'll double click on the question. Okay, it loaded. This is the form where we actually enter our text and answers. Also, we can enter feedback. I must say that this feedback is extremely important methodically, because it makes the content's cognitive value much higher. If you enter here some complex feedback, actually user will learn much more than if you put only true or false, because you can explain why some answers are correct or incorrect. You can actually explain. Also, there is an option to make feedback by answer. So for each answer, different feedback, not only for content. Here you can actually choose that. It has also option for entering multimedia, but here it is. You can actually record audio, choose picture or video from file, etc. Similar as in previously showed Engage tool. What we also have here is what you see, what you get editor. So you can see what the question will look like upon publishing. This is something that we did not have in Engage, at least not in this way of really good previewing the content. Here you can also change the text, title, or add some other elements such as characters that I showed you before, and some other elements. This is something that you saw maybe in other applications such as Microsoft Word or somewhere. There are also captions for text, something also that we didn't have in Engage. You can also embed web object. It's actually an iframe, I guess, or embed tag that you can embed some web page as part of the slide with question. It also has a scrolling panel for larger amounts of text boxes, etc. So there's a lot that you can do with it. There are also design templates similar as in the PowerPoint, also transitions, simple animations. The intention of Articulate when they were making this tool, it was to make a tool that will have familiar options and menus in it. And I think they did very well, because they opted to make a tool that will look similar like PowerPoint. And most people know how to use PowerPoint, so all of this will be familiar to them. You can copy-paste questions. And what I was struggling with in my actual projects was actually converting questions that I got from my clients in different formats, such as Microsoft Word or something, to this tool. Because you can always use copy-paste, but that takes a lot of time. It's time-consuming. And you have to fight problems with formatting again. Just like in Engage, something is some formats are copied, some formats are not. I used to copy paste in Notepad and copy from Notepad here, so Notepad clears all the formatting, or I use option pasters as plain text. For example, if I copy here and if I try to paste, I have keep text only option. That's something that is fail-safe, and if you paste it in a text box like this, the formatting that is already here in the text box will remain the same, and the pasted text will have this same formatting. So that is what I do. But sometimes it's faster to copy the text that you get from your clients to Notepad and copy paste here. In recent versions, there is also import questions option. Here it is. That enables importing questions for several formats, including Excel files. So when you have a large number of questions, like I had in some of my projects, like hundreds of questions, copy-pasting would take so much time that it would be very expensive to create such quizzes. So there are actually templates in Excel, and there are directions and documentation about it, how to make these Excel files. So you can import actually questions from text files and from Excel files. But if you have multimedia, it gets a little bit more complicated. But nevertheless, it saves time, definitely. So it's something to consider. Regarding some bugs and problems in recent versions, I didn't have any major bugs. In previous versions, yes, just like I said for other tools. But in recent versions, it is pretty stable and works very well. There are some annoyances. For example, if you have a larger amount of text in these answers or in the question itself, it can be challenging to put it on the slides because in some question types you can't control the position of all elements of the question and particularly answers, and you can't always change size of all elements. In some question types you can, in some you can't, and that could be challenging sometimes. So keep in mind to make questions and answers as simple as possible, as short as possible, but keep in mind also that you have to gain large cognitive value of the content. So you have to make your audience think deeply and focus deeply about the topic. What you can also do here in this tool are some typical functions of similar tools for creating quizzes. For example, you can have question pools, question sets, where you can pull out randomly different questions for different users. And you can define different number of points for different questions, even for different answers. Here is also a timeline where you can choose which elements, which graphical and other elements will appear in which particular point of time. By default, each element lasts for 5 seconds, and then the slide stops here, and the user has to answer the question. So if I move this slider, you can see that this is actually some kind of animation that goes through the slide. This is MP4 file, video file that is part of the question template here, that you can, of course, replace with your own video or delete it if you don't need it. So this can be interesting if you play with these options, with this timeline. You can insert whatever you want here. Text, images, multimedia, videos, audio, whatever. So you can make actually interesting quizzes here. What I didn't mention yet, but I think it's very important that you notice that quizzes are not only for checking the knowledge. Those can also be used as interactive lessons for learning. For example, the slide here, if we take a look at these slides here, the slides are for question types, and those are questions, but we also have special blank slide. And blank slide doesn't contain questions. We can move it wherever we want, for example, between first and second question. And we can put here whatever content we want, just like in PowerPoint or in some other similar tool. So you can use it actually for content for learning. So the user can learn from the slide and the next slide answer the question. It can be something related to questions or something related to complete quiz or whatever. Maybe you noticed that we have free-form questions here, and we have option convert to free-form. It is a special option that converts a question of whatever type the question is to special kinds of questions that you can actually make a little bit more complex. So if I click free-form question, you will see that those are drag and drops. Pick one, pick many, text entry, hotspot, shortcut key, etc. Those are special question types that can have more complex logic on it. For example, that you can, that the user can have to drop some items one on another item, and that's how they solve that particular question. That's one example. And there are also others like pick many, for example, where you display several items, like maybe images or something, or graphical symbols or something, and user has to choose or pick several of them to answer the question correctly. Okay, so regarding e-learning standards that I mentioned before and learning management systems, what this tool can send to LMSs is, for example, number of points, of course, and whether user actually passed the test, so achieved some a particular number of points, or failed the test, and how much time did he or she use to solve the quiz. So those are typical information that will be sent to the LMS system. There are also some ways to send each question's answers for each user to the LMS system. So you can, in some reporting tool inside of the LMS, see what actually each user answered, which option or answer checked in each question. But that is a little bit limited by e-learning standards and by particular LMS implementation. For example, in some systems, you can't have structured reporting on this level of detail. You just have raw data that is returned from the content, because it's hard to parse that content. For example, SCORM 1.2 doesn't if you make quiz in Articulate Quiz Maker in Scrum 1.2, and if you open LMS reports, you will see that in answers that user checked, or all white spaces are replaced by underscore, and also all special characters are replaced with underscore. So you have something that is barely readable depending on number of special characters in particular language. So it can be pretty awkward to read this data in LMS system, and especially to parse it in some useful way. But that is more problem of e-learning standards than of LMS system. In new standards such as ThinkCan, these things are a little bit better, but the actual servers that you need for such standards are much more complex than in Scrum. You need actually separate server for learning data store. In ThinkCan API, for example, standard learning data store is special database that stores data or tracking data for each student that used some of the content lessons, quizzes, etc. So it's much more complex to implement and to maintain also. So, what else about QuizMaker? It can be combined with other tools. I will show you this later. What I actually don't like in Articulate QuizMaker as well as Engage, but particularly in QuizMaker, is that tend to be slow for some reason. Not only during the publishing the content, I know it's a CPU intensive operation, but also while editing, switching between questions between these views, forms and form view and slide view. You saw that there were like 4 or 5 seconds. Okay, this is a little bit faster, but it's still pretty slow. It appears fast when you consider one question, but when you have to work with tens of or hundreds of questions, then it sums up as a lot of time spent waiting for something to load. Okay, this is a bigger problem in QuizMaker than in Engage. Much bigger problem in QuizMaker. Because you can't have so many slides in one Engage interaction, and you can have many questions, much more questions or question slides in quiz than steps in some Engage interaction. Okay, but overall, I like the tool, especially for look and feel of the content that user gets, and that's something that will attract users to use the content more often, and that's an important thing. Okay, let's go to another tool. So what we have here is PowerPoint, and maybe you're wondering, why am I showing you PowerPoint? Everybody knows what the PowerPoint is. Many of you don't know that PowerPoint is actually most used content authoring tool for e-learning. But what you also don't know, that Articulate actually has add-in for PowerPoint, and it is called Presenter. Articulate Presenter is special tab here in PowerPoint. When you install Articulate Presenter, it installs a tab in PowerPoint, where you can do some interesting things with your PowerPoint presentation. You already saw characters in previous tools, photos, illustrations, icons, videos. That's something that you can insert in regular PowerPoint as well. But here are some other interesting options. For example, there are player preview and publish options, just like in Engage and in Quizmaker that I showed you before. So let's click on a player for starters. It's one of those slow options that I was talking about before. Okay, it's loading pretty slowly. Let's choose another color scheme, for example, something blue or light blue, maybe. Okay. And let's preview how this PowerPoint presentation will look like after we publish it. So, what publishing does is converting PowerPoint presentation to more appropriate format for web and for e-learning, and that's HTML5. And it also includes other files and formats depending on particular e-learning standards if you use one for publishing. So let's preview how, for starters, these first 3 slides will look like after publishing or previewing. Preview just is showing us how this will look like after publishing. So this is how it looks like. It has navigation buttons and it advances automatically. This can be changed, of course. You can make each slide pause automatically after loading, so the user has to advance to the next or previous slides. You can also see here that we have a little timer, that each slide has a particular duration. There is also timeline here, just like in Quizmaker, and there are some kind of resources here. So what are resources? It's actually a list of attachments that you can attach to the presentation. For example, some files or something. And what is even more interesting, let's close this preview for a second, it's that you can, between certain files that you want, insert quizzes made in Quizmaker and engage interactions. So your PowerPoint presentation actually becomes alive, so to say. So it can contain quizzes, interactions, and regular slides. And if it is interactive presentation like this one, where actually there are some interactive buttons with links that goes to other slides or some for example, like in this example where we have a branching scenario and the buttons go to specific slides. These interactions made in the PowerPoint will actually work after converting to HTML5 and SCORM and other e-learning formats as well. So you can actually combine PowerPoint interactions with Engage interactions and Quizmaker quizzes to make more engaging content. Now we're talking about cognitive value of the content, and here you can achieve much more than when using QuizMaker or Engage only to create the content. So this is important thing to notice, and there are several options that you can use to, for example, make more complex scenarios. If I make a quiz and insert quiz here, for example, between second and third slide, I can set up this quiz in that way that users cannot advance to rest of the slides until they pass the quiz with particular score. You can also make some jumps from one slide to another. For example, if they don't solve the quiz as you want it, you can make content jump to a few slides before, so they can learn again and try to solve the quiz again after reading the slides again. So these complex scenarios are possible here in PowerPoint and Articulate Presenter. What I don't like about this tool is that sometimes it messes up the slide content a little bit. Not too much, but it does a little bit. For example, it can a little bit move text or some other items around for a little bit, or make some items a little bit smaller or larger or something after publishing. So you can't see that before publishing, and since publishing takes a lot of time and you see the consequences when publishing is completed, then you can fix things in PowerPoint and try again, and that's trial and error scenario that always is very time consuming. That's something that I don't like about it. It doesn't happen very often, but it does with certain more complex or specific items on a slide. The other thing I don't like about Articulate Presenter is that it can be very slow, especially if you have large presentations of with tens of slides and many items on each slide, especially text items. It takes a lot of time to publish the content, so it can be time consuming to work with it. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward and very fast if you have a few slides, but for larger PowerPoint presentations, it can be really time consuming. When to use this tool? Well, if you have many high quality PowerPoint presentations that you want to use in your content, then this is the perfect combination. You take your PowerPoints, maybe make it more engaging by inserting QuizMaker quizzes, engage interactions, maybe some conditional logic in it, etc. And you will have content with high cognitive value. That can be done with Articulate Presenter in combination with QuizMaker and Engage tools. Okay, let's move to some even more complex tool. Storyline, Articulate Storyline 360. This is actually a tool that I use most besides some other tools that are not articulates, like Camtasia. but of articulate tools. This is one that I used most for the content that I receive in the raw format from my clients. And why is that? Because this is a tool that in a way incorporates all other tools and adds more functions for creating more complex content of higher cognitive value. It looks like PowerPoint, but it's not PowerPoint. It looks like PowerPoint because it needs to be simple enough for users to learn it, so you don't have to spend weeks or months to learn how to use it. So let's quickly go to the tabs. Home tab, pretty similar as in PowerPoint, except you have player, preview, and publish buttons that we mentioned before in other tools. In Insert, similar options as in Quizmaker and Presenter, but you have some interactive options here, interactive elements like buttons, sliders, dials, hotspots, inputs, markers, etc. These elements are used to make interactive content with custom interactions. For example, I can choose this dial and make it right here, and actually with several clicks make it do something on a slide, for example, move object or something. Or it can show some value or something. So how does it work? Well, we have also triggers. Here you can click on a trigger and add a new trigger, and here also is a special panel for triggers. So what the trigger is, it's actually set of directions for these interactive elements that will tell content what it has to do when user clicks, moves, or interacts with the element in any other way. For example, here is a trigger for next button. We don't see it here because it's part of the player that I mentioned before, but it says when a user clicks on the next button, then jump to next slide. Or when user swipes to the next slide. Okay, so if I double click on this kind of element and click new trigger, this is a dialog that appears where I can set what will happen when user turns this dial. For example, he can jump to some slide or do or something else can happen. For example, Lightbox slide can open. It's a special slide similar as pop-up window or something. We have also layers, similar like in Photoshop or some other tools. We can show or hide layers by interacting with these interactive elements. We can play media, for example, video or something, pause media, and we can also adjust variables. So what are variables? Well, these are like little boxes with values in it. Let's put it simply, but it's a programming thing actually. If you don't have programming experience, it will take time to learn how to use these features and variables. For example, in math, in elementary school, we do learn what are equations with x variable. X is variable, we don't know its value until we calculate it. Here you can use x as a variable and put some value in it and use that value to show it's somewhere on the screen or to make some calculations with it or something. So you can actually execute some JavaScript scripting language scripts if you know how to make them or use them. And you can actually make custom elements that will submit quiz results, etc. Quizzes can be made here directly. You can insert question slides here. You have new slide question option here to make question slides, similar as in QuizMaker. And you can customize result slides that show results of a quiz much more detailed than you can in QuizMaker. So, if you play with these elements, such as sliders, let me make one here, or buttons, or whatever, you can make certain interactions much more complex than in Engage and in QuizMaker. You can combine questions and quizzes with these interactive slides, and you can have slides, as many slides as you want. This tool actually can also import slides from PowerPoint. It can also import QuizMaker quizzes, Engage interactions, and another storyline files. It also can import quiz questions. It also has design tab, just like in QuizMaker that you saw earlier, transitions, animations. And here is one other interesting thing, and it is a slide master. Slide master and feedback master are used similarly like slide master in PowerPoint, almost the same way, except you have separate master for feedback of questions, and separate for other slides. Okay. There are also slides in content library. There are ready-made interactive slides here with different interaction types that you can insert, and you have type and theme filters on the left. You can choose light or dark or both or whatever, and you can choose ready-made interactive slides or not interactive. Not all these templates are interactive, some are and some are not. And you can insert those in the presentation or storyline lesson. So this tool can be used for very complex content. A learning curve for this tool is much longer and challenging. You need much more time to learn how to use this tool, especially for this programming logic. You don't have to know programming actually to make interactions here, but you have to understand programming logic because you have these conditions, if, then, etc. And this is something typical for programming that people that don't know how to program code and didn't program anything in their lives can't easily accept and learn how to use. and that's one challenging thing for non-programmers. I actually used to program and create programming code in my life, so I actually am familiar with this, and this comes naturally to me, but I know it's not the same for all people. So this is one challenge that you can bump on when using Storyline. Another challenge is that there are some counterintuitive things and functions here. For example, states. Each element, not all, but most elements can have different states. For example, normal state or hover state that will be displayed when the user moves mouse over an element. Down state when a user clicks on a element, in this particular example on a button, visited, disabled, etc. And when you modify these states, some interesting things happen, some unexpected behavior can happen depending on a scenario, and that could be challenging and time-consuming to solve these problems. A lot of Googling, a lot of trial and error until you make what you want and make it do exactly what you want. Even for me, who actually did programming in my life. I'm also a web designer. I'm familiar with these states in JavaScript and in other tools for web design. But the logic behind these states are custom and in some aspects, and can be challenging to learn how this actually works. So this is something that I don't like here. And it's actually also slow, especially in publishing. When you want to publish your content, it sometimes takes a lot of time, especially if you have many slides. So this is Storyline. Most challenging tool in Articulate 360 package. So let's move to the last tool today, Articulate Rise. Articulate Rise is a tool that I like most. It doesn't have complex interactions, functions like Articulate Storyline, but it can produce actually content with a high cognitive value, and the content looks beautiful. Even when the content is created by people that are not graphically so skilled as typical e-learning designers. So let's start with some of already made courses. I'll show you a typical course. This is how it looks like when you open a course. You have some introduction text and then some lessons in it. And when you click Edit button, you open actually content for editing. So what you can do, you can actually type text in directly in the content, and it's what you see, what you get editor. What you see on the content will actually look exactly like this when you publish it. And that's a major advantage in comparison with some other tools. So if you need to set some options for each block of the content. You can do it on the left or on the right side with these contextual tools. You see these little dashed lines between the blocks. Here you can click on this plus button and add another block, and it will offer different type of blocks, for example, block of text, statement, quote, list, image, gallery, etc. You can also make quizzes here, not so complex as in QuizMaker, but you can also have question sets with randomized questions, etc. And you can set how many points user has to make to pass the test, etc. So this is so easy to learn because learning curve is very short, and actually it's so simple. Let's make some kind of content. Let's say we want to make some quotes. I just choose what template for quote I want. Let's say it's this one. And I made a quote. Just replace text in my own. I can paste here or type here my own text. And I can here replace the image with my own. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. We can move this up and down, copy, duplicate, delete, whatever we want. And when we preview it, when we preview the course, this is how it looks like, just like in the editor. Here's a video. These little animations just make it more smooth appearance, and it's interactive, and so on. We can also see how it will look on mobile devices, and this is the tool that designs content mobile first, with mobile first approach. So it means that it looks great on mobile phone, and it adapts for larger screens and not the other way around. So it will look fantastic on all screen sizes. Okay, what I don't like about this tool are some simple little details that no one thought about when creating this tool. For example, in videos, you can have subtitles, and you can turn those like this. Just click on the CC icon and then on a language. But you can't make subtitles appear by default. That's very annoying, especially for people, content authors from countries that localize the content to their local languages. So if they don't want to film the video all over again with native language speakers, they have to make closed captions. And what they do, they have to rely on users that and hope that users will find this little tiny icon here, click on it, and turn on subtitles for their language. Well, that's one thing that is very annoying. The other thing that gets on my nerves here in this tool very much is the thumbnail or poster image for the video. As you can see here, this video has very nice photography here displayed by default before user clicks this button. But you actually cannot upload image or photo that you want to use as this poster image. Instead, the tool uses first frame of the video. And what if video has fade in? Then you have blank box here or black box here before user clicks on play button. So if someone makes videos with fade in or with black or white or some inappropriate first frame, then you have to change this. And changing the first frame of the video sometimes takes a lot of time, depending on the process, how you make this and edit these videos. So this is another thing. Another thing that is a little bit annoying is that when you upload a video, no matter the quality that you upload, it degrades the quality to some defaults, and you can't change this. This is, I suppose, because Articulates wants to save server space. As far as I know, there are no limitations in how many courses videos, and how much content you can have on Articulate servers. This is a web tool, so everything is in Articulate's cloud, so on their data centers. It's reasonable, but authors have to be aware of it. One great thing about this tool is that you can choose from a lot of ready-made templates. Let's go to the dashboard, where we will see what kind of templates we already have here. Okay, I clicked on courses, and now I can choose between real content templates and course templates. Course templates contain only structure of the course and some directions what to put in particular part of the course. So let's say you want to make some content or course about employee onboarding. You just select a new employee onboarding template, and you will see that half of work is already done for you. You already have the structure with lesson titles that you can actually change. You can delete those that you don't want, add more lessons, change existing lessons, etc. And in each lesson, you already have some graphics, photos, some templates of content. For example, it says here, describe how your company values help everyone, blah, blah, blah. So you will just replace this content with real text that describes your company values, and so on in each lesson. The other thing that you can do, you can actually use real content templates. For example, I'll click here on courses again, just so I can filter between template types. I'll choose real content this time. And let's say I want to make a course about resolving conflicts. Okay, this is the one. I can do preview, but I will select without preview this time. And what you get here is actual content. It's actually a course with maybe, I don't know, 15 or 20 lessons. And if you preview it, you will see that here we have actual content about resolving conflict. Okay? With interactions and everything. Some of the templates also have videos in English and some don't. And what is also interesting is that Articulate, when you buy Articulate tools, they give you rights to use this content and to actually sell this content. You can actually, if you want, you can add your own content to these templates, modify the content, translate the content to other languages, and then sell it, or just sell it as it is. So that's something very, very interesting to consider. So you don't have to start from the scratch. Maybe if it's some generic topic like this one, you will find at least part of the content that you need here in these content templates. Furthermore, there's one more interesting thing here that is announced by Articulate soon, that there will be AI assistant here and in Storyline also that will help you make new courses in a way that you will have a tool to upload your own documents like PDFs, PowerPoints, etc. And it will actually create something like this. Some ready-made content made from your actual documents, not from some material from the internet that you don't have copyright for, but from your own content. And that's something that will make production of new courses much faster and cheaper. I look forward to use these functions as soon as they become available to users of the Articulate tools. One more thing I forgot to mention. We have a review option here. We can create a review version of the course. What does that mean? That means that you can share a link with other coworkers or with clients, and they can see the draft of the content, how it looks in some phase of the development, and they can make comments and make feedback. They can give you feedback to this link using only web browsers that don't need actual tools installed on their computer. Okay, and another thing, there are themes that can be used to tweak look and feel of the content, similar like Player in other tools that I showed you before. You can customize colors, fonts, blocks, whatever. And you can also insert your own logos and stuff like that in the content. So this is something that I like to use most, this particular tool, and it's, I would say, very modern and very fast to use. You can produce content very fast in it, regardless of using templates. Even if you don't use any templates, you will make content very fast here because it's fast, it loads very fast, it previews almost instantly. Like you can see, 20 lessons with a lot of content previewed in a second or so. Publish is a little bit more slower, but still faster than most other tools. You also have LMS and web options here, like in other tools, but also PDF option, so you can produce PDFs from your content. That's all for today. It's a little bit longer video, but I hope you find it interesting. A little retrospective of Articulate tools and some pitfalls and some advantages of it. If you like this video, please click on like as usual. And if you like this channel, you know what to do. Click on the subscribe button. And thank you for your attention. See you next time. Bye-bye.